checking in. Okay. Let me just kind of hit the high points. Okay, I'm on day 3, waking up with the situation with the castor oil and the belly button and all that stuff. Slept really good. Again, I can't entirely chalk that up to the castor oil because, again, you guys know I use melatonin to help keep my sleep schedule regulated. Did not wake up one time last night though, so that's different. I'm on day 3 of putting it on my face too, and my face feels really great. I don't have any breakouts from it or anything like that, so that's good news. I had a pretty interesting conversation yesterday. The agency that I am using sent out an email 2 weeks ago saying that they were going to start paying us weekly instead of bi-weekly, which is cool. I mean, it didn't really matter one way or the other to me, but I know that everybody has their own individual set of circumstances and everything. They said the first paycheck will drop this Friday, which was last Friday. And Friday came around and I didn't see anything, and I just figured, okay, well, they're having trouble transitioning. Maybe that's just they were only able to do it for a certain number of people. And I just kept on trucking. Well, then my regular accustomed payday came through yesterday, and I only had about half of what I should have got that got deposited. So I reached out to the agency and was like, hey, I know we were supposed to be doing weekly, but I didn't get anything for last Friday, and I've only got about half of what I should have for this Friday. So help me figure out what I'm looking at here, just so I know that I'm not misunderstanding things. So I heard back from the administrator, and she was like, hey, can you send an email to payroll and da-da-da-da-da-da. And by the time I actually got through finishing the email with the instructions on what she wanted me to do, she was calling. And I answered the phone and I was like, hey there, how are you doing? This and that, and da-da-da-da. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, I reached out to payroll when I realized it was you. And, we had like this whole conversation go on inside the office about how awful we felt because, you're always so nice. Every time you send in an email, you tell everybody we hope we're having a great week or a great weekend, and that whatever. And she's like, this, I cannot really excuse this. This was 100% my fault. She said, I went through and did the approvals, and she says, we have a young lady that works with us whose first initial is the same as yours, and her last name is the same as yours. She says she had not been picking up a lot of time up until the last pay period. She says when she signed up for a bunch of hours, so I assumed that it was her, and I approved it, and they sent her your money. She says, I have already reached out to her. She understands that I sent her your money by accident and that they will be pulling it back out. She said, I am so sorry. She's like, she's like, the payroll ladies feel awful that they didn't catch it either because they thought it was hers too. And, we have a couple of people who have look-alike and sound-alike names in the system. And I just kind of laughed. I was like, hey, there ain't nothing perfect. Just so long as we can get it sorted out, everything is fine. She said, oh, I just want you to know I called you to explain and, to let you know that I've already issued an approval for the amount that you should have gotten, and it should be into your bank by no later than tomorrow morning. She said, if you will shoot me an email or a text and let me know that you got it, she's like, that would just take a load off. And I said, yeah, that's fine, that's no problem. I said, it's not a big deal. I was like, I'm not hurting for money. I'm like, the money that went in today is more than enough to get me through the weekend. If it has to take until Monday, I said, and I'm like, I don't have anything pressing going on right now that I have to have cash available to me like that. And she was just like, you are just so sweet. She's like, God bless you. She says, most people would have been incredibly angry about all this. She says, but everybody here was talking about how nice you always are and how you're just such a team player. She said, and actually, I want you to know this too. She says, because I don't know if I've told you this or not. She says, but every single facility that you've gone to, they ask us if we could get you to sign up for more shifts because they like you. They said that you're very good to work with. You make sure everything is done before you leave. The patients are taken care of. There's never any problems, and that they really, really appreciate that. That they wish that there were more people like that came in from agency. And I told her, I said, well, I said, I can't speak to the other folks. I said, but I was raised by nurses, and I was raised that you do it right or you don't do it at all, and that if you don't do something right, you make sure that you do what needs to be done to rectify it. I said, and that's just how it is. I said, it doesn't hurt that, probably because I'm an old chick. And she just kind of laughed. She's like, you're not that old, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm that old. I said, I'm pushing 45, and I said, I've been in this game now quarter of a century. I said, as crazy as that sounds. And she said, oh, I didn't realize that. She said, she's like, don't get me wrong, I look at people's records and everything. She said, but I'm not like going over them with like a fine-tooth comb. She says, that's what Christy does. Christy's a lady that works on the HR side. She said, but oh my goodness, she says, that explains so much. She says, and I'm so glad that we've got you. And then we started talking about like expanding the agencies that we are, the agency network, and the facilities that we're covering, because I told her I don't mind like the driving that I'm doing thus far. Like the furthest that I go away is like 45 miles, which is not that big of a deal. It gives me the opportunity to listen to like ebooks and podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And she said, we're working on that. We've got some closer to home here that we're working on getting in. One of them is the jail, and I'm super excited about that. And I told her that I have about 15 years of correctional experience in, and she was like, oh, well, that'll be amazing. She's like, you'll be able to go right down the road from where you're at to go to work. And I said, right. I said, and it just gives me, I said, I kind of want a little bit of a diversity of options here. And I talked to her about one of the nursing homes in town that I had worked at, the one that kept dicking around with my schedule, and I just finally cut them. And she was like, well, she's like, we'll reach out to them, but the last time we didn't have a real good response from them. She's like, and we asked a lot of the nurses staff, if they would want to go to these facilities and work, and if we get a negative sort of response on a facility, then we don't go in. And I said, I think some of that might be different because over the last several weeks, I have had the facility reach out to me at different levels of management, and they're all brand new people. It's none of the same people that were there before. I said, so maybe there's a change of culture going on inside the building that will probably make it a little bit more receptive, and a change of standards is being implemented. At least I hope so. And she said, well, I'll add it to the list and we'll reach out to them and talk to them. She says, but yeah, we're expanding. She says, be on the lookout for more of that. She said, and she told me about some facilities that they had added, and I said, I understand. I said, and I'm glad that y'all were capable of getting those. I said, but that's, each one of those facilities are a 2-hour drive one way for me. I said, and even at the current rate, which is infinitely better than it would be if I were working in a nursing home as a full-time person, I can't justify the drive 2 hours one way for the monetary amount that we're currently set at. I said, now if it were more and it, you know, made up the difference for me driving and having to stay, I would drive over and stay 1 or 2 days and then work multiple shifts and drive back. That sort of situation would make it worth it. I said, but with where the situation is right now, that's just not feasible. And she said, oh, no. She says, I totally get that. She's like, but we're trying to bridge our company all the way across the panhandle. She says, and she said, we're gonna be looking to staff like everywhere. She says, because our rates, even though you guys make more money, our rates are much more affordable than some of the others that staff these places. And I said, oh, okay, I gotcha. But that was all resolved. I woke up this morning, my direct deposit was in my account, and I shot her a text and said, hey, thank you so much, everything got resolved, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And she was like, thank you for letting me know. She's like, and thank you for being so gracious about it, whatever. And I've just gone on about my day. Now, here we are. I'm on my way to work. All is right with the world. I will be having a video up, some video attached into this one probably, where you guys will see the meal prep stuff that I did from last night, when I told you guys that I was going to make my mother's chicken and rice. I did, and I broke it down as to what I put in it, you know, whatever, in case you guys wanted to try it. Now, if you don't, that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. If you do, great. That is great for me, great for you. Good food is good food, and, you know, being able to share stuff like that with each other is a good thing. I have got a dude in front of me hauling farm equipment, and he is slowing down traffic. Stuff like this is why I'm so glad I don't live in the country anymore. I did want to say I did not include a calorie total for that casserole because I didn't think about it. I was really more concerned with the protein, and because I'm still doing the intermittent fasting, I don't really have to be overly concerned with the calorie total. I'm just really more concerned with the protein total so that I know that I'm getting my protein in for the day, and just keep that in mind. But you know, that's what I got thus far. I'm hoping the next 2 days is going to go by quickly and chill because I don't need no foolishness. I don't have it in me. I woke up today with the monthly bill showing up, and I don't entirely feel 100%, and because of that. I mean, you ladies out there know when that monthly bill comes due, it can take a little bit out of you, and that's exactly what's going on. I got parts of me hurting that shouldn't be hurting. I got sensitive areas that shouldn't be sensitive. I got stuff that just makes me feel yucky all over, you know. So, I mean, I'm not sick. I don't feel bad like in that way, but I just feel icky, you know. And I just am not in the mood. So I am hoping that tonight is going to go my way so that I don't really have to deal with the nonsense. Because I already know that despite being hormonal from premenopause, that the monthly bill will make me even more hormonal, and I just don't want to have to deal with craziness that causes me to want to go, bah! You know. So yeah, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go back to listening to my podcast so that I can be in a good clear headspace when I walk into here, and we'll check in later. Hey gang, so working on meal prep and stuff. I'm making my mom's chicken and rice casserole, I guess is what it would be. Let me show you what I'm working with, and I'll break it down for you. Okay, so to start with, I have put a can of the cream of mushroom and cream of chicken mixture in there together. There is a 4-ounce block of cream cheese, which is light cream cheese. There's a quarter teaspoon of onion powder, a quarter of garlic powder, a quarter of pepper. Now, I know you guys are probably going to be like, ooh, cream cheese, but that, I'm going to tell you, is the secret ingredient on all this. It makes it super creamy, so smooth. It gives a little bit of extra kick. It is absolutely worth it. So, my next step is I'm going to finally chop up some broccoli, some steamed broccoli to throw in there, and then I will show you the next step when I get to it. Okay, gang, my next step, I'm putting in 10 ounces of finely chopped broccoli and 1 package of Banza rice. This is Banza rice. It's made from chickpeas. I did put the garlic packet in it, even though I have garlic already seasoned in there, because, you know, I love garlic. As you can see, there are 18 grams of protein per serving in this packet. So that's one of the things that I'm doing to protein load. I have literally halved the recipe that I told you guys that, you know, is initially laid out. The only thing I didn't cut in half is the broccoli. This is about 10 ounces of steamed broccoli, but I love broccoli, and you know, fiber's good for you, especially when you're trying to load up on protein. You don't want to end up with your plumbing backed up. So, protein, fiber. So, I'm fixing to throw those into the mixer, and then I'm fixing to work on my chicken. Okay, so I threw it through a quick little mix-up because, you know, I've learned that putting it in the mixer just makes it more evenly mixed. You guys can use any kind of rice that you like. I'm just substituting the Banza. My mom used to always use white rice. You can use long grain rice. You can use wild rice, whatever you like. You can mix and match and do it up however you want. You can change up the veggies, but this is just my preference. But if you double the recipe that I am using right now, then more than likely you are going to have enough food to feed an army, at least for a few days. And it is very, very good. Hey gang, so okay, here is the end result. What I did is I'm not going to tell you no lie, I cheated. I used a 12.5-ounce can of white chicken breast, and I shredded it up real good and threw that in there and threw a handful of cheese in there. And now I'm divvying it out into pans, which it looks as though I'm going to have 2 of, which is fine. And the way I figure it is that a fourth of this, because of how shallow the pans are, a fourth of it cut in fourths. Each fourth is a serving. Exactly. And I've figured it up thus far between the rice and the chicken. I am looking at 30 grams of protein. That's not including the half a block of cream cheese. That's not including the handful of cheese I put in it. And, you know, I used the canned chicken so that I wouldn't have to put any salt in it because, you know, pre-salted from preservatives, and then there was already salt in the soup. So it should be a perfect meld by the time I'm done. I'm going to have a second pan, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake them both in the oven at 450 for 30 minutes. After I get these 2 pans loaded up, it's sticking to me. After I get these 2 pans loaded up, I'm going to throw some more cheese on top, and that will be my meal prepping for a few days, because I'll be able to probably eat this twice a day, unless I just absolutely get sick of it, which is highly unlikely, because this is probably one of my favorite dishes my mother ever made. So that's what I got. I'll show you the end result when I'm done baking.
Hey man, between her forehead, man, I don't know what to look at.
Hi everybody, it's Sunday. I just woke up. Day 4 of the castor oil situation, the belly button sort of deal. and I slept like somebody hit me on the head and knocked me out. Feeling overall pretty good. I slept like super hard though, so I'm really in desperate need of some coffee to get me going. But other than that, no weird dreams, no major issues. I'm still putting it on my face too, my face and my eyes. And the only thing that I've noticed, and I noticed it earlier today, like I have a little tiny little blackout, like a breakout right there, which I'm hoping will go in a few days. But that could also be a hormone issue because I told you guys the bill is rolling through for the month. So my aim, because I don't have to be at work until 11 o'clock tonight. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. My aim is just to kind of chill out a little bit. The upload that I did for yesterday, sorry about like the color, the writing be across my face. I thought I adjusted it, but I guess I didn't. When I said I had interesting people, an interesting assignment, oh man, I had some of the stuff was just a little strange. And then we had a guy, oh, excuse me, who was up just about all night with us. We had to actually bring him out of his room so that his roommate could sleep because he was singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall as loud as he could muster. And once we got him up and brought him out where we were, he kept trying to get up, and, you know, he was a fall risk. And we sat and talked to him and everything, and he made the comment that he had used to teach dance. And I was like, really, what kind of dance? And he's like, ballroom dancing, the best dancing that there is. And I asked him for a free lesson, and he laughed at me and told me there was no such thing as a free lesson, and that, but simply for his amusement, he would give me some coaching. So me and one of the CNAs working with me, we were standing there in front of him, and he's trying to talk us through how to do these steps, and we're doing them badly. And at one point he just laughed, and he was like, God, you're awful dancers, but we'll shape you up in time. He's like, you're going to have to come back several days a week to make that possible. It's funny to me because like conversations like that are what make the job so interesting to me. Because a lot of the older folks that, you know, we have in nursing homes don't really talk a lot about their past. They're more focused on the now and what, making sure that their needs are met, you know. So the fact that we got to get into this whole free dance class thing with this guy was really funny, which was really kind of, what made it even funnier is the fact that we don't actually have any actual proof that he ever taught dance. So that's what, when I say interesting, that's what I mean by interesting. We get those nights where stuff like that happens that is just kind of, you're just like, I don't know what that was, but okay, you know. Holy moly, sorry. I'm sorry I keep yawning, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to, thinking on it, I do believe I'm going to upload all of this stuff on the Monday vlog, and I will section them out, saying Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, you know. I just didn't, I figured it would be easier to film in sections rather than overwhelm everybody with like me talking for like 20 minutes about everything that happened this weekend. I saw some of the comments, you know, about what you guys had to do yesterday, and I'm glad you guys had good days. I really am. Life is a really weird thing, and being able to take the moments and just enjoy life and laugh and smile and just cut up a little bit, it's good for you. It's good for the soul, you know.
So I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to get some coffee. I'm going to hang out with the fuzzies and probably listen to Frenchie's stream because that's coming up. So I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye. Hiya. So I learned something new because, you know, I was kind of curious. Excuse me. So I learned something new because I was kind of curious. I was doing some research. I see a lot of discussion about slugging online, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's where you put an occlusive sort of skin topical like Aquaphor or Vaseline or something along those lines on your face after you do your product application, you know, at night and sleeping with it on. And I had never heard of slugging before, but it sounded like an interesting prospect. So I started doing some research, and technically I have been slugging already. I did not realize this, but I guess that would sort of explain why it is that my skin has felt so good over the last few days since I started using the castor oil. Castor oil is a semi-occlusive sort of oil, so it is actually locking the moisture into my face, and I'm noticing that even with my usual routine, I am not having as much of a like evaporative effect, because like a lot of times you can put your moisturizers and stuff on and your skin feels really nice for a little while after, and then over time, over hours, you go back to having that original skin texture that you are accustomed to having. Well, since I have started using the castor oil, I am noticing that my skin is staying super smooth and super soft like all day, just about. Like I noticed that even this morning when I was in the truck and I reached up and I propped my hand on my face and I was just like, ooh. I was like, ooh. And that was, you know, 12 and a half, 13 hours, 14 hours later, that I was still feeling really soft. And I was just like, this is working out. I'm loving this. This is probably going to end up becoming a permanent fixture. But now I have the actual science behind it all. I mean, obviously, the castor oil has a moisturizing effect, but it is actually locking in the moisture that's already there. And now that I know that, I was just putting, you know, like I tried these last few days, just putting the plain, just castor oil on my face before I went to bed. But now that I know that it is actually locking in everything underneath it after I put this on, I'm going to start using all of my regular products that I was using before I started with the castor oil, and then putting the castor oil on top of it so that it gets like a penetrative effect, you know, because it kind of holds everything in and lets it work without you having to worry about it rubbing off and everything. So yeah, learn something new. We are never too old not to learn. And you know, I didn't even think about it, but you know, yeah, digging it. I was just realistically, when I went to just using the castor oil, I was kind of like trying to give like an unfettered, unmanipulated sort of evaluation of it. And you know, the best way I guess to do that would be use it as a standalone. But now that I'm seeing that it works really well by itself, and that I know that it's explained that it's basically slugging my skin and it's holding all the stuff in that it needs to hold in, like the moisture and all of that, I'm gonna start like layering the product like I was doing before I went to bed, and then doing the olive oil last, and let's see what kind of effect that I get from that. I am really kind of interested to see how that goes. As to eyelashes, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't think I've had any real growth or anything yet, but I mean, it's only been a few days. I mean, it might take some time, obviously. I mean, it may take months before I actually see any real significant sort of anything, but that's fine. I don't care. I mean, I may not see any results at all, but based on the videos and info that I've read, it does have an effect in relation to hair growth. So hopefully hopefully I'll be able to sprout some length on my lashes so that I can quit looking like a crazy person. We'll see. Hello everybody. Quick check-in. I'm on day 5. I'm putting oil in the belly button. And no melatonin this time around because I didn't want to sleep for like a long time. But the little bit of time, the 4 hours or so that I slept with it, I was knocked out. Yet again, I put it on my face again. Still going really well. That whole breakout situation that I had talked to you guys about, that appears to be something related to the monthly bill problem. I haven't had anything else, thankfully. After I have my coffee and I have a couple minutes to just chill and get kind of more awake and more into things here, I'm going to go outside because my little cover thing for my garbage can came in today. So I'm going to put that up, and I've got to replace the batteries in my jack-o'-lanterns because I left them on last night when I went to work. I didn't think about it when I left. I was just like, it turned into like I gave it a passing glance and keep on trucking. So it ran till the batteries died. So I got to replace those. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up this week that I want to do, and really kind of happy about that. You know, the weather's starting to get so nice that I can actually get outside and do things and not feel like I'm going to turn into a puddle. So looking forward to it. I'll have some video of, obviously, of the happenings going on, just because, you know, Vlogmas, Vlogtober and all that stuff. So just figured I'd check in. Bye.